of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hey, it's Ann Perry. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today we're going to be talking about how compatible is an 11 life path number with another 11 life path number. So this comes as a result of many of you sending me messages going, come on, let's figure this out. You know, I talked about all the numbers 1 to 9, and I failed to let you know what an 11 can expect to be experiencing with another 11 in a long-term type relationship. So let's go and take a look. So first of all, we want to discuss that master number 11s have things in common, and they're very highly sensitive people. They're very intuitive. They're often psychic, right? They're a little different. They feel like they don't fit in. It's like they're kind of the round peg in the square hole kind of a thing. They have a very high need to control their environment. That could be anything from the color of the paint on the walls to the type of food they eat, to the type of music they listen to, the scent that is in their home, the fabric that they sit on a couch or sleep under their sheets. They're very, very sensitive, and they have a need to be able to say, this is what I like, right? And this is what I don't like. They have a huge need to be creative. Remember, when we're talking about the 11s, we're talking about the fact that the mastering here is mastering the number 1 energy, okay? So this video pertains to anybody who's a 2911, 4711, 3811, or just straight up 11, okay? But what you need to understand is that commonly, the commonality that exists amongst all 11s is this double need to be creative, this double need to be independent, double need to create something that's original and different, okay? So this, in a nutshell, this huge need to be creative. So they have lessons regarding that double 1 energy, and it's about confidence as well. It's about leadership as well as creativity. Very demanding souls contracts, right? You guys signed a contract that is much bigger than most because you've lived many lifetimes. You've been here, you've done that, you've walked the planet many times, and you've come back to do it again. So this time around, you've placed bigger demands. So bigger demands cause you to set the bar a little bit higher. You've heard me talk about it before, right? So 11s in general have very high expectations for themselves. They have a very high need for independence, but also with partnership. How do we know that? Well, 1 + 1 = 2, right? So we've got double 1s, which is double the need to be the leader, double the need to be independent. But at the end of the day, the 11 is also somebody who is a 2. So you guys are balancing between the double masculine energy of the double 1s, need for independence, to be the leader, be on top of things, but you've also got that sensitive side of you, that feminine side of you, the 2 that says, I need partnership, I need somebody around. So you kind of struggle a little bit with that. It's a commonality that exists between all 11s. 11s will often suffer from social anxiety, right? And anxiety runs really high. You guys are plugged in all the time, right? You hear me talking about this all the time. You're very anxious because you're wired a little bit differently. Your minds are going all the time, really, really busy. And so because of this, you can quite often suffer from depression because the anxiety causes you to sabotage your efforts, okay? And then you get depressed because you're not meeting your expectations. So it's a bit of a vicious circle. So the 11s also can suffer from codependency and just a general sense of neediness. So master number 11s need partners who can handle their hypersensitivity. They need someone who can honor their intuitive insights, right? They need to feel comfortable and safe in expressing themselves, because if they want to say, hey, I just spoke to an angel, or I just saw my grandfather sitting at the end of my bed or whatever, they need somebody who's going to go, really? Okay, tell me about that. Let's talk about that, right? They don't need to be shut down. The one thing that's common with the 11s is that they have a tendency to be shut down when they're kids because they find out really quickly that they're kind of different, right? They don't quite fit in. So what do? They shut themselves down. But then they're miserable, right? So what we have to do is help you guys to feel comfortable in your environment, comfortable in your relationships, that you can share this stuff, that you're not going to be judged, right? Again, we talked about your need to be able to control their environment. So an 11 needs somebody who can say, this is what I need, okay? And they need to be okay with the fact that this isn't just a whim, this isn't just neediness, this is a genuine, sincere need of theirs to not have the news on all the time, broadcasting bad news, not having music that doesn't agree with them, not having colors painted on the walls that offend them, right? They're very, very sensitive. They need to be supportive, or they need to have support. They need partners that can be supportive of their need to be creative. Okay. So if you're not with somebody who can say, yeah, I get it. This need for you to be creative is really, really important to you, and I'll do whatever I can to support you in that effort, that's going to be a problem. Okay. They need to be encouraged to reach their potential. Remember, the 11s are poster children for I'm not good enough, right? Why do you feel you're not good enough? Because you've lived so many friggin' lifetimes before, right? You've got all of this lifetime cellular memory that's running around inside of you saying I was better than this in a previous lifetime. Okay. So, but what we need to help you to understand is that this is a different lifetime, right? And this is another opportunity to express a unique side of who you are. Okay, so you need someone who's going to encourage you to be able to reach that potential when you're feeling a little bit low. You need someone who can accept the fact that sometimes you just can't stay in certain social situations. If you are being bombarded by negativity, if you're feeling the sadness, if you're feeling people's anxiety, you guys are magnets. You feel it all, right? So if you're in that situation, you need somebody who can say, I get it, it's okay, right? We can leave now, instead of, oh, what are you, crazy? Come on, like, let's just stick around, right? No, you need somebody who can respect your need to set limitations, healthy limitations for yourself, so that you don't become overloaded energetically. You need a partner who can help you to feel safe inside the home and outside the home as well, that you're well protected, that what you say matters, right? You're very heartfelt, right? 11s are always very sensitive, heartfelt people. They take things to heart, okay? So you need to be able to express yourself safely inside and outside of your home, and that includes your work environment as well. And master number 11 is somebody who needs a partner who will respect their need for intimacy. Now, I'm not talking just necessarily sexual intimacy, but I mean, that's important too. But the Master 11s need to be able to feel safe that when they confide in you, that's as far as it goes, right? They need to be able to trust that intimacy stays between the two of you. They need to have someone who can honor their need for independence and partnership, all right? So they need as much time by themselves to explore their own individual needs as much as they need time to explore the relationship. They need to be given space to feel what they need to feel without judgment. That's super important. And they need someone who can respect their need for partnership. So the 11 is somebody who needs partnership, right? There are two. They're one of two people, right? So the 11 thrives in partnerships. They don't do particularly well entirely by themselves. They always aspire to have somebody in their life. And so somebody who is a 1, just a 1 life path number, might not be able to understand the need that an 11 has for partnership, okay? So what happens when we put the master number 11 together with another master number 11? Well, this kind of a relationship can be really effective if their needs are communicated clearly, okay? It's a very, to be honest with you, unless I'd have to look at the full chart, the whole chart between the two people to tell you whether I thought you would be compatible or not, because there's so many other factors that go into it, right? So just to say, is a master number 11 going to work with another master number 11? You're going to have to communicate really, really, really well, okay? And this can be a difficult blend as they both have very similar needs. So we already spelled out what the needs are, okay? So each one of these people in this relationship potentially has the same need. They have a need for partnership. They have a need to know where people are. They have a need to control their environment. That's a lot of needs, right, that need to be met. So sometimes, if you can prioritize your partner, if you can put them ahead of yourself, if the 11 can put the other 11 ahead of themselves, then chances are it's going to be reasonably successful. They've got a better chance of being successful in a relationship if there are other supporting core numbers. So what do I mean by that? Well, there are 4 core numbers that we look at in a numerology chart. The life path number, which is what we're talking about here, the master number 11, that's the lesson number. This is not the strength number. This is the lesson number. So we know that this person or this couple is here. Both of them are to learn about gaining confidence, gaining confidence in social situations, gaining confidence in their creative potential, gaining confidence in just about every area in their life, right? Confidence is not your first name, you know. Quite often it's not, because the 11 is here to learn confidence. They're here to learn creativity, self-expression. You know, have to learn how to be okay with being a little different, a little out there, and being very original. So that's your lesson number. Okay, so then we bring in your expression number, and the expression number comes from the totality of your letters in your birth name. So we assign numeric value to each one of the letters in your birth name. So if you have somebody the two master number 11s together in a relationship, then I would look at the expression numbers. What gifts are they bringing? So if I saw somebody that had in this relationship maybe a 22-4 as an expression number, and maybe somebody who the other person would have maybe a 3 expression number, what I'm looking at is somebody, the 4 says, you know, I'm the master builder. Not only can I get the insights because I'm a master number 11, but I'm the master builder who says I can actually take those insights and turn them into something. So that means that that person could very well support the other person. All right, they know how to do that. They know how to be grounded. They know how to get the information. They know how to channel the insights and the inspiration and the illumination that they often get, and be actually able to plug it into the ground. They're very grounded. That 4 is a very grounded number, to be able to actually turn it into something. Now, the other person with the 3 expression number might be somebody who's got all kinds of creativity, but they're not necessarily very grounded. The other person with the 4 can compensate for that. Okay, so that would be a good connection. The other thing that I would look at as well is the heart's desire number, probably even more so than anything else. If your heart's desire numbers are compatible, chances are, regardless of what your life path numbers are, you're going to make it, right? So how could that work? Well, if you had a heart's desire of a number 7, okay, your heart's desire says, I like alone time. I want to be alone. I want to have a lot of quiet time that I can be reflective, to, you know, play in my spiritual studies, and just to kind of be a little lofty, be a little analytical at times, and just kind of be out in nature and be on my own. So I like my independence. I like my lone wolf time. Okay. But if you have somebody who, in that same relationship, who has a 2 heart's desire number, not so much, right? Because that 2 is demanding. That 2 says, no, I really love partnership. I really want somebody around. So that's really not going to work so well, is it? But if I had somebody who had that 7, who wants to kind of be on their own and do their own thing, and I had somebody with a heart's desire number of a 1, chances are that's going to be pretty good, right? Because the 1 says, I can be independent anyways, no big deal, right? If both of you have an 8, for example, as a common number there is the heart's desire number. The 8's all about financial wealth, materialism, manifesting something, creating something, having an interest in maybe building a business possibly. Okay, so that's a common interest. It's a common goal. It's a common heart's desire, right? So that could make it very compatible, right? So there's all kinds of different combinations we can look at. If we look at somebody who, again, has the 7 as a heart's desire, I kind of want to be on my own, but then you've got somebody with a heart's desire of a 6. Well, the 6 says, yeah, but I love my family around. They're going to be here every Sunday for supper. The person with the 7 heart's desire is going to be like, blah, you know, that's not going to work so much. So I just want to point out that there are different things that you can look at in a chart. You can't just discount that an 11 with an 11 might be a bit challenging. And I'm not going to lie to you, it is going to be challenging, there's no question. But there are so many other areas in the chart that we need to look at to see if this works. So if the expression numbers have strong leadership potential, then, you know, this can override the potential neediness of the relationship, right? So that can be super helpful as well. So that's it. I wanted to keep this short and sweet and address the question that keeps coming up. Is a master number 11 compatible with a master number 11? Maybe. We got to look at it further, right? The other thing we've got to consider too is the cycles, right? There's so many cycles that need to be considered. There's pinnacles, there's life path periods, there's the 9-year epicycle, there's the essences. There are so many things. You can't just make it a cookie cutter. You can't just say an 11 and 11 is good or it's not good, right? So if you have somebody who's in your eyesight that you think might be a good potential partner, you're probably going to feel like soulmates, right? 11s with 11s, typically they feel like, they're old souls that are meeting again, and chances are you very, very well may be, but you do need to understand what you're going into. So I welcome you to contact me should you want to explore a full reading. I certainly can offer that for you. I'm at AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Got all kinds of options there for you. I teach on Udemy.com. There are some free courses there on my site, as well as some courses that are paid for, but they're very minimal in cost, so maybe you'll enjoy those as well. I've got my Facebook group. I do have a Master Number 11 portal that you can join for Facebook, and it's just a general Facebook group for Master Number 11s. Only amazing people hang out there, so I know you'll fit in. And of course I have my masternumber11.com site, which is the membership site, which is a very unique opportunity to really explore who you are as a Master Number 11. So I thank you so much for tuning in today. I really hope that you've gained some insight, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, because I am on a mission to make 10,000 subscribers. So if you can do that for me, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. If you have any questions, post them down below. I am so happy to answer them for you. Take care, guys. Have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.